I'm Robin Murphy with the Center for Robot-Assisted Search and Rescue. Welcome to the Disasters and Donuts podcast, where you can learn about disaster robotics and the time it takes to have a cup of coffee and savor a donut. In this episode, we'll summarize the latest research from 2023 on the best practices to reduce fatigue in drone pilots. But first, did you know that during a disaster, drone pilots show fatigue levels of being legally drunk by the third or fourth day of a response? Yeah, it's true. Professors Ranjana Mehta and Camille Peres, who specialize in human factors, they've partnered with us at CRASAR to analyze drone pilot performance at Hurricanes Harvey, Michael, Ian, and at the Kilauea volcanic eruption. And they use the same techniques they developed for assessing safety in offshore oil rig workers and for people using robots in warehouses and manufacturing. Basically, they gather the biometric and cognitive data, and they've gathered it from dozens of pilots who've flown at these disasters consistently through many of them. It shows that at a disaster, drone pilots start off tired, get tireder, and don't bounce back all the way, even with 8 hours of sleep. So what can be done about it? Realistically, it is a disaster and we have to fly and push and get the job done. Well, things can be done about it, and that's the subject of their new paper. I was a co-author. That was a finalist for the best paper at the 2023 IEEE Safety, Security, and Rescue Robotics Conference. The paper was called Best Practices to Reduce Fatigue in Small Uncrewed Aerial System Pilots. You can see Camille presenting and accepting the award. Let's go over what those best practices are. Well, incident command leadership during the operations can do a lot of things. Well, one of the first thing is that if there's a possibility of night flights, hold a squad in reserve. That way they don't work all day, then they have to work all night. It may not be popular with some pilots to kind of be told to take a nap, but it's going to help with cognitive fatigue. If you have new missions or new platforms or software or sensors, give those to your most experienced pilots because they're going to have the most cognitive resources to learn new methods and goals and be able to adapt on the fly. Now, whenever you do hand off a new mission to a person who's never done it before or software or sensors that they're not familiar with, your incident leadership should include fatigue in their risk analysis, particularly things like, okay, we're asking them to do something new at the end of a long day of work. That may not be the best time to try anything new or experiment. Create and follow as close as possible a routine sleep and deployment schedule as you can. I mean, this is just think of it as crew management the way you do for helicopter medical transport teams. If you can get them on a regular schedule, they expect rest at certain times, it really helps quite a bit. And consider throwing in these reminders in your daily briefings and after action reports that it's that whole 8 hours bottle to throttle rule. You know, alcohol may make us feel like we go to sleep quicker, but it actually interferes with restorative sleep. So we're still going to be a little brain fuzzy even though we got sleep. Now, squads and pilots can do things to help us too. So, you're going out there and at least with a team of two. So alternate your sorties between each other and change up those cognitive demands. So pilot one flies and pilot two's the visual observer, then pilot two's the pilot, and then pilot one is doing the visual observing and so on. Make sure that your safety officer or your visual observer or whatever you call that role on the team is empowered to step in and trained to know that when things are going a little off and that assistance needing or just help is there. Really, one of the things is that as you get tired, you get sloppy. And so that means the data gets screwed up. So that really, even though we've always said at CRASAR, you need to perform a quality control check after each sortie to make sure that the data is obtained. You really, really need to do this at a disaster because you're just tired and it's easy. It's easy to make a mistake, and then that whole mission is thrown away. Also, Develop and use written, easy-to-use procedures. So that puts it on us as pilots to create checklists that are tractable, not those 15-page long things that are CYA that the manufacturers give you, but something that's really what you do and easy to follow and has those reminders. Even better if you laminate them, and even better if you train with them and practice using those little handouts. The takeaway is there is actually a lot of easy, no-cost things that both incident leadership and pilots and squads can do, even without any prior planning or training, things that you can do the day of the disaster. And to that end, please remember this graphic. It's available on our website, and contact us if you have any questions. Please do subscribe to our YouTube channel and check out our website at CRASAR.org. We have more tips on safely and rationally integrating unmanned aerial systems in disasters.